matter of law goes to transparency itself. The law requires automobile operators in this country to, manufacturers in this country to operate in a certain way. And therefore, the first thing we do is the law can see if they are operating according to law. And law here meant, of course, the regulatory agency. I don't know if you want to respond, but I do want to make it clear. And I was pleased to hear that apparently the route from customer complaint to those who can do something about it is one of the reforms you have suggested in your testimony already. That apparently these went astray because they didn't get quite straight up to the fix-it person. And as I understand it, one of the most important reforms is not that the customer complaints you'll listen to, I suppose you heard them, but the right people in the structure did not hear these complaints. Is that so? At the right level, the level to bring an immediate remedy, those people didn't hear it soon enough, and so the customers weren't heard soon enough. Is that correct?
全く聞いていなかったわけではないというふうに思っております。要は、その聞いてきた苦情をいかに我々の形で再現できるか、そしてその出た苦情を現地現物で何があったのかということをいかに調べられるか、そしてその問題が今後他に継続性かつ他に波及する可能性がどのくらいあるのか、この3ステップを今までより以上に早い形でやりたいということでご理解賜りたいと思います。ただ、この再現に関しましては、本当にその、我が社、一生懸命やっております。一生懸命やっていても、再現が出ない場合もあるということは、ご理解賜りたいんですが、その一生懸命やってるところを、より今後、トレスパランシーを上げながら、当局の協力も仰ぎながら、そして業界全体の車全体の向上につながるような活動につなげるよう、トヨタとしては今後、力になっていきたいというふうに思っております。
It's not that customers were not heard, in my view. Whenever complaints were reported, we try very hard to reproduce and duplicate those complaints to identify what it was that was actually taking place, which led to the complaints coming from the customers. We investigated them very hard, and at the same time, whether the similar phenomenon is likely to continue into the future, how much possibility there is for the same phenomenon to spread to other areas or other cars is another aspect that is investigated. So I will say that I will accelerate that process of following these 3 steps further into the future. But with respect to the reproducibility or duplication of those phenomena, we have been working very hard within Toyota to do exactly that. But even with the best efforts made, there are cases that cannot be or that has not been reproduced. So going forward, we'll enhance the transparency of the process of us working very hard to reproduce and trying to identify those causes. Sometimes seeking cooperation from the authorities concerned. And we intend to lead our efforts in this area in a manner that our efforts itself will lead to the improvement of the vehicles of the entire industry.
I'm going to go on with my questions. I just want to make sure you're not blaming the victims. The customers reported.
We understand.
The customers reported. Let's not say, we want to hear our customers. The fault does not lie with the customers. You can bet your bottom dollar that the first time there was unintended acceleration, that's about everybody's horror. you can bet your bottom dollar that that customer reported that. Your answer, which goes to we'll see if this is duplicated, is in some ways very troublesome, because that is such a serious problem that once it is reported one time, it seems to me you have got a huge problem on your hands, and you seem to be saying, well, if we hear it enough, then we'll know we ought to do something about it. That's very troublesome.
Well, what we said in our testimony and many other times, customer first is the thing that we have been doing, but we would have to make more focus on the customer concerns and complaints. And for that matter, I think we also work closer with NHTSA, NHTSA, so that when they receive the customer complaints, we'd like to know more about it. And then also, some of the information will be sort of open to us, including VIN number, so that we can trace back each one of the customers. As I said, the SWAT team could do that. So we are trying very hard to really put the word customer first.
First, let me say to you, I'm going to ask you a question